There's so much to like this time. I'm not. I swear to you, I'm gonna let him talk. Right? I swear to you, I'm not gonna pause as much. For real this time, though. For real this time. For real this time. Destiny is legally trapped. Legal mindset. I'm pretty sure this is about the whole situation with Destiny and the partner that potentially or may not have shared some of the some intimate videos of. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't know the whole scenario. I don't know the whole situation, but that's kind of why I want to again legal mindset. Great way of like showing and providing context without necessarily having all of like the biases. Like you can't really go anywhere without 100. Like there's no way to get now no bias 100%. But like I feel like if anybody's good at like hiding their bias, it's a freaking lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So let's check it out. Destiny's apparently in troubles. I have my headphones on. I'm just gonna grab my monster real quick from the fridge. Be right back, Monos. I'm listening. I promise. I'm not like Hassan Piker. It's not just a cherry act. I promise.
Streamer Destiny may be legally trapped as we look at this new scandal, and we're turning to what may be criminal charges. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney. This is Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, it's a fast facts version, giving you the quick and dirty and the latest of legal news. If you like this version, if you like the fast facts, make sure you like the video and leave a comment on the video below. So as always, we have a nice PowerPoint for you here today to kind of walk you through this situation with Destiny. Now, once again, I'm going to give a content warning because this is a very serious topic.
He said that Destiny was
very
illegal
serious
trouble.
topics lately that involve deep materials and deep subjects that can be sensitive to some people. So if you are very sensitive to this thing and anything involving explicit materials involving minors, this might not be the topic for you. I'm going to refer to it as CSAM. I know people like to use the cute cheese pizza stuff, and it's good enough for an emoji or something else somewhere, but I'm going to use CSAM because that's the professional designation, and it just talks about it in a more professional way. So that's what I try to go for on my channel. Please be respectful in both the live chat and in the comments below, and I would deeply appreciate that, as this has affected many people, and this is something that really is truly hurtful to a large percentage of the world population. So let's go into the introduction. First of all, I previously covered his ongoing civil lawsuit, so you can check out my previous video for that information. However, this does relate and not relate to his ongoing lawsuit with Pixie. Of course, this will be information that Pixie's lawyers will be very interested in getting at, and there'll be all sorts of twists and turns. But what I'm going to really focus on today is the latest controversy and the legal issues presented.
Okay, so this it will affect that scenario, that situation with Pixie, but it's not specific. So he's gonna get to more trouble.
I'm not focusing on the inter-streaming drama. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not going to bring up, Saint Piker in this one, right? It really doesn't have anything to do with him or what Ethan Klein thinks or anybody else. It really has to do with Destiny and the legal hot water that he's put himself into. So that's our...
What? But Hassan Piker said you're probably some Destiny orbiter guy. He also said you're not a real lawyer.
And the last thing I'm going to say, and I've said this before, is like with all of my videos, I have no personal bias or anything against or against Destiny. And frankly, I don't care how this turns out. So it really isn't something that I'm for or against. And what I want to say is, if you're a fan of Destiny, if you're a Destiny fan who's tuning in to watch this, right, please watch this with an open mind, because this both presents the challenges, the things he stepped in, as well as, hey, what can he do moving forward? Because at this point, you're at where you're at. So what do you do? So listen to it with an open mind, whether you're for or against Destiny, whatever side you're on, just try to focus on the law and what is...
Similar to the Hassan Piker situation, similar to the freaking Gaza, Palestine, Israel, similar to all that stuff. I have no actual beef in the game. Like, I have no skin in the game. I can't, beyond just discussing it and having an opinion and just like, wanting to know what y'all think, I really have no other interest in it, but besides just wanting to have discuss it, just have a quick conversation about it. and that's about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's it.
Objective in here because all of this is really objective information. So let's get into explaining the controversy. Now, you guys can go over watch this 4-minute video. I reported Destiny to the police by Willie Mack. If you want to see the whole video, I'll have it on my live version. You can watch the whole thing there. But as a quick summary on this expose video, the streamer Willie Mack.
Damn, I should watch that.
Contacted Destiny.
I could find that for contact.
Seemingly was confirmed as underage. It was confirmed on a third party as being underage at the time, and when explicit material is being shared with her. So this girl is underage and, you know, receiving explicit material. That's not something that's good. So they were, you know, talking, and as part of that voluntary conversation, once again, Destiny chose, this is a big deal, he voluntarily engaged with Willie. There was no legal obligation. This was not a deposition. This was not something that was required by any court of law. This is something he did because he just wanted to talk. He just wanted to get it out there. And this is a very common problem for streamers because they often talk about stuff and get themselves in a hot water. And
you don't say. Yeah, a lot of streamers just talk, just sort of. Here's the thing. A lot of streamers run out of shit to say, so they just start to talk too damn much about their personal life. They really gotta tell the world every freaking thing about everything. When it's like, you know, like let's be real, you really just gotta entertain. You don't really gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, what people don't need to know every single little freaking detail, but some, you know, I feel like not only does like the parasocial relationships don't just go one way. To a certain degree, I feel like even the streamers start to like create a parasocial relationship with the chat, with the audience. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what happened here today. Destiny voluntarily commented, likely without consulting his lawyer. I'm almost certain that he did not talk to his lawyer before he talked to Willie Mack. And he shared a video where Rose, apparently, according to all the data, appeared to be underage at the time. Therefore, he shared an adult video. Of course,
I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure in America, if you have child porn, that's just jail. I'm sorry, but yeah, in my opinion, as well as what I'm fairly certain of, if you have child porn on your phone and you know it's child porn, and for some reason you have not deleted it, like, that's just, I feel like that's just jail.
There's a piece of it. He didn't share the actual video file itself, but he had the file name and he had a top of the video where she was underage.
That's sussy, bro. Come on
stated,
now.
Hey, yeah, I've got this. I've still got this information. I've got this on my computer, right, where this girl is apparently a minor. Therefore, this would be what would appear to be CSAM. I've got that on my computer. And Destiny...
Oh, is that the term? Is that what the term for it is? CSAM, okay. He mentioned it earlier, I just didn't know what the hell it meant. Okay, so, but I mean, I feel like, is that not, like, yeah, I feel like that if you have... You're in possession, like, it's illegal to be in possession of the stuff. I'm fairly certain.
His defense to that, his kind of pushback when he was questioned by Willie was, oh, I have a legal duty. I have a legal obligation.
Now, I feel like whether it don't matter if it was sent to you on freaking Snapchat or whatever. Anybody, Destiny, whoever the hell, if somebody who was underage sends you something, and especially if you find out that they're underage, you delete, you get rid of, and if you want to send them something, you send them a message saying, hey, never send me anything like this ever again. You lunatic, that is incredibly illegal. I'm deleting this, and I don't want you to contact me ever again until you're above the age of 18, basically. At that point, it's up to you if you want to go, you know, freaking basically wait for them. But that's on you. Like, just you just need, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be doing the metaphorical version of, like, dropping everything and backing away slowly.
To preserve evidence. So, of course, Willie turned around and then reported Destiny to the police, in addition to making a video, forming a video, which I'll put in.
Good. Yes, and I feel like that is the if you find out that somebody you know is in possession of child child, you know, videos that are not good, not okay. I feel, and they're just like, you know, not deleting them, not getting rid of them. I feel like, yeah, you should report them to the police. That is correct. I feel like that is the correct thing to do. Destiny stated he has a legal duty to preserve evidence. Evidence of what? What evidence is it of you being a freaking freak?
The description below. So what happened afterwards? Well, of course, Destiny goes and fights back. He goes and comments back, saying almost everything at DM is wrong. Willie Mack is running cover. He goes in on Ethan Klein. He goes in on Hassan. He says he has no CSAM on his computer. I've only complied with my legal obligations for my court cases. The 60 gigabyte screenshot was read to a claim that Rose made.
See, when you say I have no CSAM on my computer, I've only complied with my legal obligations for my court cases. But then you go back and his statement was that he has a legal duty to preserve evidence. That makes it seem like you're just basically trying to, like, make a roundabout way of saying you have it.
Goes and fights back. He goes and comments back, saying almost everything at DM is wrong. Willie Mack is running cover. He goes in on Ethan Klein. He goes in on Hassan. He says he has no CSAM on his computer. I've only complied with my legal obligations for my court cases. The 60 gigabyte screenshot was read to a claim that Rose made. Someone whose name and birthday have yet to be reliably confirmed.
See, if you had to put why you had to add reliably on it? Why'd you have to add that extra little, like, that reliably confirmed? What do you mean reliably confirmed? What do you mean yet to be? What does that mean? How do you reliably confirm? You just confirm it. Dude, when were you born? Oh, okay, that would have made you this age. What do you mean reliably confirmed? Hold on, what do you mean?
Well, I think that's where the problem is. It seems like that indeed has been confirmed according to sources out there. And if those sources are correct, if those sources have indeed pulled up the right information, then it appears that if that is confirmed, that would indeed be CSAM. So he may be asserting that it's not based on a mistake of fact, which we'll talk about today. However, that can entirely change.
Guys, I don't have the video on my computer. I just have a video on my hard drive. What are you talking about? Jeez.
Change things legally. So let's get into how this splices legally. So preservation of evidence. So channel fans and you guys out there know the term. You're big fans of my channel. You know the term. Spoilation. You guys know about that. I've taught you that because it comes up time and time again with people deleting evidence. I talked about that in the Ethan Klein case with the Reddit and Discord mods trying to delete stuff, right, or hide stuff, or Denims or anybody else trying to hide stuff. That would be spoliation. If they're trying to delete evidence, hide evidence, that is a problem, because once a lawsuit starts, whether it's civil or criminal, does not matter. You have a duty to preserve evidence, and that applies to all evidence, physical, digital, anything relevant to the case. That's very broad, right? Anything relevant broadly, you have to preserve. So any attempt to hide or punish or destroy that evidence, anything that's relevant, and you try to hide it or destroy it,
I genuinely feel like at a certain point, wouldn't you just turn over the evidence to, like, the courts? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you have it? Like, why is it still in your possession?
You be punished by the court, including criminally, for trying to hide or destroy evidence. So Destiny, when he said he has a legal duty, and listen up, Destiny fans, Destiny is right about that. But however, he's sort of right about that, and he's forgetting about all those other duties that are out there and all those other responsibilities. He's forgetting about privilege. And this is where I think he did not talk to his lawyer, because if his lawyer knew he was going to have this conversation, he would have certainly said no, because it made his job a living hell. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about candor to the tribunal. A lot of people know about attorney-client privilege. If you watch Breaking Bad...
What the hell does that even mean? Okay. So, sorry, candor to the tribunal. Yeah, we know about the attorney-client privilege. Breaking Bad, let's go.
With Saul Goodman, put $1 in my pocket, engage confidentiality. And attorney confidentiality is strong. It's very strong, but it's not unbreakable. There is supposed to be, theoretically, a balance. Now, of course, I will say this too. Different lawyers are different and take different ethical stances on what is confidential and what they need to disclose to the court. But you actually need to balance what's called candor to the tribunal, which means confidentiality is on one side and candor to the tribunal, the court, on the other side. You have to be honest with the court. As a lawyer, you can't lie to the court. If you know you are lying, you cannot do that. So there is a duty to report facts.
Oh, damn, I didn't even know. I sort of just assumed the lawyer was like, had an obligation to just be like, you know what I'm saying? I sort of just assumed the lawyer was like, hey, like, I'm like, this, and the other, it's a lie. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, you have to, like, but I demand that you lie for me. It's like, I just assumed if, like, the person lied to them or told them a lie or forced them to lie, it was like a sort of like deal of like, I can't really do much about this, right? Like, it'll get sorted out in court, sort of type of deal. You get what I'm saying? I didn't know that they have to specifically go and like. It's like they're required to go and like speak up specifically, or just like.
Such as
they'll get punished if they don't do it, kind of deal.
Or fraudulent conduct, perjury, fraud to the court. All of these things you have to report. So if the lawyer knows, you have to report it, and that's the key there. Right? That's the key. The lawyer does not have to report mere suspicion. So if you only suspect something, you don't have to report that. But if you actually know it, if you know it's true, you're like, I know this as a fact, you do have to report that. So the problem is, are you seeing the problem here?
Yeah, if he's making the claim that this is all court evidence, he basically just included the lawyer in that by saying, effectively, this is evidence that I turned over to my lawyer, so the lawyer would have had to have found out about this and would have had to report this, the fact that there was child porn involved in all this, to the court. So now he's kind of he's put the lawyer in between a rock and a hard place. Either the lawyer has to come out and say, like, I did not know about any of you, or that is some BS, and he gets in trouble, like Destiny does, or the lawyer has to come out and say, I did know about this and just was negligent and refused to like report it, which would get him disbarred. And I don't think the lawyer's gonna do that.
This moved from something his lawyer may have suspected because we do or don't know this person's age to, oh yeah, this person was factually underage. Therefore, this is factually CSAM. That completely changes the dynamic from something the lawyer might not have to report because he doesn't know one way or another to something he'd say, well, now we've got to talk about this. Now we've got to disclose this to the court. It's a mandatory disclosure. It's no longer an elective disclosure. That's a problem. That's a big problem for the lawyer. The other problem is we've got privilege.
Yeah, Destiny can't really just sort of say, I'm allowed to have child porn because it's evidence in the court case. It's like, no. If it was really evidence in the court case, you more than likely, I would assume, right? Not only would you have to disclose it, but I'm assuming you would turn it over. They would censor it to be used in the court case, and then the actual original, would be freaking destroyed, so to speak.
So
because it's freaking illegal to have it
by attorney-client privilege, that super strong privilege. You can throw lawyers in jail and they don't have to break attorney-client privilege. That duty is absolutely waived when you speak to a third party, when you disclose to a third party. Now, there's a difference between inadvertent, accidental, and intentional.
Oh, so because he spoke to Willie Mack on that specific situation, it can be waived?
Disclosure. If you accidentally leak something, if it was something that, oh my God, I faxed somebody something, I should have faxed them that. Okay, you might get away. Who uses a fax anyways? Well, the Japanese do. It's a Japanese thing, guys. Trust me, I'm in Asia. But you accidentally send something over an accidental email, whatever
I believe
else,
you.
That may still apply, right? There's no guarantee. You might have waived that privilege, right? It's possible you still waive it, but there's an argument that the attorney-client privilege is preserved. However, if you leak information intentionally, privilege is lost forever. So here's the issue. He spoke to Willie Mack voluntarily. There was no obligation. There was no court.
Yeah.
There was no gun to his head. There's no duress. There was no money. There's no nothing else. There's nothing going on here, right? There wasn't any sort of situation where this could be argued as an inadvertent disclosure. This was an intentional disclosure, fully intentional. There's no way this was not voluntary. So that's the problem. All the privilege on this is waived now. So all of, for example, talking about Pixie and that lawsuit, they can come after that because there's no privilege on that anymore. That's just wide open. So let's talk a little bit more about applying this.
So I guess, does that mean that the because Destiny's the defendant, right? Does that mean that the other lawyer can now basically demand to know all of that, demand to know all that information, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like can they actually, like, what's the term, subpoena that video, that photograph, basically, now that they know of its existence?
To the law. Well, let's talk about mistake of fact. So Destiny argues that he lacked the mens rea, right? He lacked the intent to commit the crime because he had an honest and reasonable misunderstanding of a factual circumstance at the time of the act. That
sounds like something somebody who like is guilty as hell would say. Like, I didn't mean to commit the crime. It's like, no, I don't. Yeah, you still did it though. You know, like it's like when somebody stabs somebody in the heart and they're like, I didn't mean to kill him though. It's like, well, yeah, you still did it though.
Defense of mistake of act. This is a defense that comes up particularly to
get into a bar fight and you freaking murder the guy. It's like, yeah, I don't think you meant to murder him. I think you meant to beat the crud out of him, and yeah, that's what led to this.
Specific intent crimes. So the best example was, let's say you had a very expensive jacket. Let's say it's a designer jacket, and you picked up a jacket you're in a place that's cold, so you have to put when you come in the winter, you put your jackets up front and you take somebody else's jacket, maybe.
Yeah, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable, like, not wanting to commit a crime. That's like full blown, like, that's like when you're at Walmart and you're like freaking grabbing stuff and you're like, all right, I'm gonna take that. All right, cool. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know, like that's like $100. All right, da-da-da. And then like one time, Papa Monkey. Actually, it wasn't at Walmart, but it was actually at a Home Depot. Where like the guy was helping him measure out like these freaking like tablets of wood and stuff. Because we were gonna like we wanted to make like a little walkway to like the backyard, and so we were like, you know, measuring some stuff out. And the guy handed him his like really nice tape measure. And like they were measuring the stuff out, and then the guy was like holding the stuff, and he was struggling. He was like, "Ah, crud!" He's like, "Wait, I'm gonna give you this at 70% discount because X, Y, Z reason. It wasn't what da da." He's like, "But like, can you actually go grab that spray paint or the marker or whatever?" It's like, and we need to like spray paint it purple. And because of my bad like spine and stuff, I couldn't do it myself. So Papa Monkey basically put the freaking tape measure in his pocket, went over, grabbed the spray painted the thing, they cut it to shape, and he was like, all right, cool, there you go, you'll take that, that's 70% off, the rest of this is still like full price, used for like a different client, yada yada yada, or a different customer. It was a whole like ordeal, because I guess somebody else had cut it and they cut it wrong, so he's like, no, let me cut this to the right measurements and you could just take the extra pieces, like 70% off. And then of course we go through all of that charade, grabbed all that stuff, walk out, paid for everything that we had. And then, of course, like, as we're driving home, Papa Monkey is just like, ah, freaking, what the hell is in my pocket? He's like, oh, crud, the freaking tape measurer! And and of course, the employee just had a random brand new tape measure from, like, the ones that they sell there, you know? Like, because, I don't know, I guess he just freaking forgot his in the back office. He grabbed one of the ones on the freaking shelves and started using it to measure right there real quick while we were, like, measuring the stuff. That's, like, I feel like that's a freaking, like, what do you call it? That's a lack of mens rea. Like, you get what I'm saying? Papa Monkey didn't freaking, like, go in there like, I'm about to steal this tape measure. He's got, like, 3 or 4 of those freaking things, right? Like, old ones, messed up ones that are full of grease, and some new ones. That's like lighters. You know, your friends you ask for a lighter, and then they forget to ever grab it back, or they tell you, like, oh, hold on to it for a minute, like, or give it back to me in a moment. And then you freaking, you end up having it, or freaking, like a pen or a pencil, you know what I'm saying? He did return it, by the way, but because it's the Walmart, it's a Home Depot we go to all the time. But at the end of the day, it's like that's reasonable. Whatever the hell you're doing, where you're like, no, 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 I have every right. Like he basically was justifying keeping it. That's not lack of committing a crime. That's you just want like that's just you trying to make up any excuse to keep the freaking image.
It's their Canada Goose jacket, whatever it is. I don't know what's trending nowadays, but you take their expensive jacket and it's not yours. Well, that's a true mistake of fact. You did not know it was identical. It was a genuine, honest mistake. It's a reasonable mistake, a reasonable, regular person can make. You're not going to go to jail for that, typically, right? However, that's only for certain types of crimes. So there are certain types of crimes called strict liability. So most, but not all, criminal charges related to CSAM are strict liability. And what that means is, with strict liability means your state of mind does not matter. So your specific intent does not matter. Now, that's not all charges. Some of them, it does related to CSAM, some of it doesn't. There's other lawyers, shout out to some of my friends out there in LawTube that have gone over the long list of potential crimes. There are some that don't require it and some that do. Right? It's a mix. And it's really up to prosecutors what they're thinking about, what they go for. That's not in the control of any streamer. It's not in control of Ethan Klein or Hassan or anybody else. It's in the control of the prosecutors to decide, hey, how are we going to go after Destiny? If we go after Destiny, that's up to them. And mistake of fact and mistake of law defenses typically do not work for strict liability crimes. They typically are not a defense. However, there are exceptions.
Well, yeah, because it's like, it's simply like because every single, and I'm not saying he is one. I'm just saying every single pedo, every single jump pedo that it contains any of this stuff is always going to say that they did not intend to have it. They're gonna make the same exact excuse. Like, you get what I'm saying? They're always gonna make that excuse. No duh.
Exceptions. Of course, there's a very complex and specific area of law. There's lawyers that dedicate their entire career just to.
By the way, that doesn't mean I don't find him to basically be one. But I'm not trying to pull a Hassan Piker here, where I'm like, I'm not saying he's a Geppetto, but he pretty much acts like. But no, I feel like this guy is like, if for some reason he's absolutely not, like, the way he's handling this has convinced me that this bro is like suspicious, and I don't want him anywhere near kids. Flat out, I don't want this Destiny guy anywhere near kids now. Like, I'm suspicious of him. Like I am suspicious. I'm just saying, I'm not accusing him of nothing, because that's not how the law works. I'm not gonna accuse him of jack squat. The court will handle that. But I wouldn't trust my kids around him.
I am not one of them, but I will give you an overview of.
And it's like, bro, like, how about just stop. Like, how about you just don't text nobody that's underage?
Some of the defenses that Destiny might bring up.
Don't message, so nothing, course, block them.
There's two main ones he might bring up. The first one is, of course, not having intent, and that would block anything with specific intent. So saying, hey,
it's like when people be like, oh, I got sent some stuff by underage girls on Snapchat. It's like, then block them. Well, I mean, I don't have to block. It's like, shut up, bro. Yes, you do. Block them, delete, get rid of it. What is wrong with you? Yes. They want to act like, oh, well, I'm innocent because I'm not asking for it. Shut the hell up.
Genuinely believe this person was an
you
adult.
The fact that you're not blocking them is practically, in my opinion, makes you no. That basically makes you guilty.
The intent to possess or distribute. So a lot of the possession or distribute statutes might involve some specific intent to distribute. So, okay, I don't have the intent to distribute, so it's not going to be a distribution charge. The other one is negating the element regarding child. So there's usually language saying, okay, this is a child. So even if it doesn't require specific intent, it requires that person be a child. So if you say, hey, I honestly didn't believe they were a child, you would negate that element of the crime, even if it isn't specific intent. I know it sounds complicated, but it's just taking out that one little piece. Once again, not guaranteed, not foolproof, not something you can necessarily get away with. I'm just saying and presenting out there, as always, professionally, hey, here's the attack, here's the defense, right? And it doesn't look good for Destiny. This does not look.
I mean, frankly, not only does it not look good on a legal sense, like I said, this just makes him look suspicious as all get out. Like, Bro, all these streamers are freaks, I swear.
So my conclusion
At
is
this
Destiny
point,
is
they're all
certainly now under
freaks.
criminal scrutiny. Absolutely. There's been a report. So law enforcement is looking into it, absolutely, without a doubt. And this is in addition to his civil case. So this has gone from something that is purely civil to something that is now potentially criminal. He gains nothing debating with people on the internet. And as much as I can tell him, and I'll probably make a short or something else like that, hey, look, this isn't useful. I mean, that's factual. I say it all the time. I put out the meme there on X, shut up, shut up, shut up. He probably won't, because that's his MO and that's what he's been doing for the longest time. But that really isn't going to help, because it's not up to Willie Mack anymore. It's not up to Hassan.
I freaking love that. His only hope is to fully disclose information to his lawyer. I feel like, you say only hope. I feel like that should have been his very first, that should have been the first hope. In fact, I feel like that should have been his entire strategy to begin with. You get what I'm saying? Like, how is that not, like, the first thing you do in any, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, in any court case, whether you're guilty or not, I feel like you just sort of disclose everything to your lawyer and sort of, like, tell him, like, listen, fool, you know damn well your job here, you got one job here, and that's either to get me out of this or to get me the best deal to get me, you know, out of trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Or anybody, or myself even. Arguing with me doesn't really help. The only thing that helps is to fully disclose information to his lawyer, stop talking, you know, definitely don't give any other interviews, and possibly engage a specialist lawyer. But even doing all that, there's no guarantee, and Destiny is certainly in for a very bumpy ride. I don't know what you guys think about this in the comments below, and I will catch you on the next.
Dude, like, the thing is, there is enough here, even if you don't think, like, even if you don't think it is what it is, you know, you want to defend him, you want to say that he's not guilty, you want to say you know, it is what it is, you know, whatever, you know, I don't really care. Do you? There's enough here that I've seen that I feel like any judge would be like, you suspicious, like, let's look into this. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's enough here that this fool's gonna be in court for a while. This fool's gonna be battling this in court for a while. That's what I'm trying to say here. Another freaking phenomenal video by Legal Mindset. Please go and drop him a like, go drop him a sub. What a phenomenal freaking video. I'm glad, because I wasn't, like, I kind of I'd heard about this, but I didn't know that this was, like, a separate issue. I thought it was, like, still in relation to the other chick. But at the same time, it's, like, a whole other, freaking, this guy is weird, dude. I gotta watch the Willie Mack video too, so I can, like, understand the full context of it. But phenomenal video from Legal Mindset. What's interesting is that even if I don't know the full context of it, I now understand the sort of, like, what legal, sort of, like, let's say legal trouble he's in. You know, I understand what sort of, like, what the ramifications of what he's going through is. So that's what I love about Legal Mindset, for sure. So please go check him out. Please go drop him a like, sub, all that good stuff. Ayoo, Monodachi! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Saru!